the users through the text to speech. Instant BI and analytics primarily revolves around using or leveraging the conversational AI and simplifying the access to data and visualizing the results. That means now you can ask the questions in a simple, natural language, and you will get a response in terms of data, which can be again visualized as a table or as a chart format. Predictive analytics basically is to generate those insights, foresee what is to come, and hence take informed decisions. So these are all the features that has been listed, which is primarily essential for effective conversational AI. So iAssist AI, conversational AI features include spell correction, multi-intent, split conversations, and interruptible conversations. Basically, we are trying to humanize the whole conversational activity that is happening here. So, for example, you have some questions configured. User wants to go for, instead of asking one question, if he goes for two questions in one single input itself, the system should be capable of understanding that. Many a times, again, a changed human behavior, as it varies from people to people. They might not give all the details in one go. They might give more details in the sentence than what has been configured. And it can be in multiple chunks. One single intent can be sent to the bot. Still, the bot should be able to understand, though data is very important for machine learning algorithms, but also the intelligence also needs to be there. And there should be also options to bring in predictive analytics into the conversation part, some of things that we will see later on. And as listed, the analytics features, identifying those key KPIs which can influence the outcome, whether in a conversation with external users or improving the process efficiency, understanding what is right and what is wrong, and hence taking decision towards the future direction. Finding trends and correlations has been made easy. Predict the actionable intelligence. These are all some things that analytics modules brings in. And basically, what we are trying to say here is that try to know the unknown as much as possible so that the bot user journey can be better. Also, the organizational direction, which is based upon those key insights which is also in congruence to the market trend, is what need of the hour is. So the benefits of iAssist, so in terms of both analytics, conversational AI, and both combined, and this is how this marriage can look like, or what it can yield to the end users of this platform. So we will discuss both in one single go. So some use cases do have independent application of AI and analytics module, but there are many use cases wherein this analytics has to be a part of the conversational AI for a good journey or a conversation between the bot and the user. So, for example, if there are use cases revolving around visualization of data or data-driven decision making, these kind of use cases do fall under a pure analytics use case. And similarly, if you want to gather some data by having a conversation with the end user and then putting it into your CRM or any other module for that matter, your conversational AI is independently sufficient to engage these type of use cases. But there could be scenarios, for example, if within this conversational AI, there is one element wherein I would like to filter the amount of choices that is given to the end user by predicting the type based upon the profile of the user. So these kind of small things would yield better results, that because it can increase the revenue of the organization. Lesser choices, there is a study which says that lesser the choice that you give to people, the more faster the decisions are. And similarly, it might be important also to give not only those relevant options, but in some of the use cases, the required number of options that is given for users to choose from should also be higher. It should not be one or two, or it should not be two or three. Probably by you should increase it by five in order for an effective communication. How do you have these type of conversation unless and until the predictive capability is not present in the system itself? So this is what we are summarizing here: actionable insight, helping the virtual agent uh, through predicting trends as well as generating those actionable insight is the job of a subject matter expert using a conversational AI to talk to the database, the data that has been collected, trying to visualize it and creating actionable insight, creating reports through this visualization tool. All are intermingled here, if you see. And that has been laid down in the below two options or two scenarios that we are trying to showcase here. Artificial intelligence plus instant analytics, leveraging that conversational AI into having a chat with the database would be empowering your subject matter experts. Similarly, the predictive analytics, like those variables that might influence the user's decision to go or not to go for certain things, those things need to be predicted and factored into the conversational AI. That is what we are trying to achieve in this platform. So those key influencing elements will be foreseen, and accordingly, actionable insight can also be generated. Now, this is basically those depictions how collect, analyze, predict, present can interact with the NLP layer. This is the orchestration platform wherein it shows how the conversational AI can connect to, or how we can easily connect it to the database, CRM, ERP, or any other enterprise applications. There would be scenarios where you would like to see how efficiently it has been utilized. What are all the use cases wherein it couldn't be efficiently utilized, and hence fine tuning the application for those particular use cases. So this is how a voice bot would work, how a caller will make a call, SIP trunk, role of a SIP trunk, where does the voice bot comes in, converts speech into text, then feeds the chatbot engine, response is sent to the voice bot, wherein the TTS module kicks in, then streams the audio back to the user. So these are all the few things that has been shown in order to understand the platform's flexibility. So now let's see this particular slide. So it's very important that you balance the act. How do we balance? First, we need to understand. Then only we can decide upon a course wherein we can act and control things. So what are all those interaction data? What is the underlying sentiments? What are all the profiles or attributes of the user? What behavioral data we have been collecting about a particular user? Say, what are his payment history, ordering patterns, usage history? Once you accumulate these details, put it into a machine learning model, predict what are all the outcomes, what are all the outcomes possible for a given profile, set of combination of these attributes, then you can decide how to act. So certain combination would lead to fraud, certain combination might lead to risk, certain might require activity to retain it. So you can decide your course of action accordingly. So those trends and patterns are key to the decision making. That is why in my analogy, I told you that conversational AI at some point might require a predictive analytics module. Right. So where do we begin our journey? So I believe that the best point to start the journey would be to find out the burnout task for quicker ROI. How do we do that? Though many organizations do understand it, but we do provision certain tools which can help better identify those nitty-gritties into the burnout task, reduce the wait time for engagement, make that more happy conversation, also more yielding to an organization. So This is the key. So those tools are essential, not just the conversational AI, but those supporting tools are also essential. So there are certain methodologies that we follow in order to gather those requirements. Having said that, this is not an exhaustive or the lengthy process. It just gives a overall idea how the business requirements are gathered. So we gather it, identify a solution, configure, train, test it. So all the elements of conversational AI and predictive analytics which are required for that particular use case will be tested for performance. Then it will be given for deployment. So these are all some essentials that should be kept in mind while going for a conversational AI project or analytics project. Communicate clearly with the users. There has to be fail forward mechanism. Focus on being responsible AI from day one, including analytics can really give you a good amount of insights into the functioning of an organization, making information more accessible. Always keep the cultural background for consideration while you plan to execute a conversational AI projects. It should be humanized platform so that it is easy for people to embrace the transition from human agent to a virtual agent based interactions. So a few use cases, though we have listed down 4 use cases. Today we are going to only discuss these two. Um, Customer support, whether it can be technical customer support or any other customer support, it's very crucial to identify whatever request that is coming, what type of that request is or that ticket is. Once you classify that category of those requests, we can also understand what are all the analyze the nature of the problem, why there has been a problem, and which problem requires immediate action. What are all those top priorities of an organization can be easily analyzed. That is the reason we follow this monitor, analyze, predict, control, engage, or act model. This is what we suggest while planning for your journey. This really lays down without even starting the journey. So it really highlights all those key points. So once you understand the type of problem, then you identify the priorities on it, or what are all the nature of those failures are. Then you should probably predict whether what is the possibility of reoccurrence of that event is after the problem has been fixed. You can give a duration that within this duration we will try and understand based upon the historical data whether there is a possibility of its reoccurrence or not. So if there is any possibility of reoccurrence, it should be sent to the senior team to verify the possibilities. Now, this is one part of it. At the same time, since if you expect that certain things might have a higher issues being reported in a particular time duration, you can always complement your L1, L2 resources to take care of through a virtual agent assisting them in order to have these interaction. If it is a live conversation, if it is automatic conversation, obviously the conversational AI can very well engage the users. Now, the benefit of this is it reduces the cost of operation dramatically up to even 40%. Depending upon use case to use case, the results can be achieved. Now, the second use case that we are looking at here is inventory management. So what do we like to monitor here? So we should monitor the inventory itself, analyze what is the minimum stock levels we should maintain. After this analysis is done, we should predict demand and supply forecasting for both the product as well as the raw materials that will be part of it. Then try to predict or forecast what are all the raw material cost going to be. Once these few aspects are ascertained, then we can move to the control mechanism and plan whether we can automatically screen what are all the best possible vendors out of this registered vendor pool with us. So we can also control the minimum order quantity considering the price forecasted, demand and supply for the product in future. we can we can determine a better minimum order quantity, and also automate those critical levels or threshold within which you want the notification to be sent. Now, once this part is again done, you can engage with those registered vendors with the system has selected based upon those thresholds to go for a first round of price negotiation within a price range. So again, if you see, these things will improve your revenue and improve the cash flows of an organization. So this is just to give an idea of what the impact can be if these two tools are combined together in many of the use cases. It helps the organization to grow. It better controls your cash flows. It can reduce your operational cost. So it might not be possible if you use them independently in many of the use cases. So having said that, we have covered the key use cases. This we have listed. So we will post it. You can have a look at these use cases and also come back to us in case if you want to have a detailed discussion on these use cases. If you want to go for a POC, we would be happy to help you out. And so now coming to the future part of it. So vision for 2025 for the conversational AI and analytics module. So what we are foreseeing that slowly, every employee of the organizations to be more efficient will be helped by a AI assistant. Uh, we are very gang ho about it. Uh, what are your thoughts on it? Please let us know. But please do it before 2025. Thanks a lot. Thanks again. It was pleasure talking to you all.